First of all, before I speak anything, I would like to say that what happened in Kisii yesterday had nothing to do with me. I respect Mzee Raila. I disagree with him variously and severally on various issues, but my style of politics doesn't make me look for resources and time and money to plan how to heckle anybody. If it is my mouth, it's available. But physically planning anything, no. Number two, I have a very high regard for Raila, one, because of experience. Number two, because he's an elder statesman. And number three, because I've worked with him before. And I'm not apologizing for everybody. I actually love the consequences of the events of Kisii, because they are critical events, and anybody who tries to dismiss them, you dismiss them at your own peril. Number two, I've said before that I'm not anti-government, in public and otherwise. I've said I have been brought up in a family where we respect authority, where we respect government, and I think I have severally said that President William Ruto should be given time to push his agenda if he's willing to make sure that agenda satisfied the Kisii community and Kenyans as a whole. So I find my job not contradictory on what I say. Number three, thank you all for coming here. The question of us as a community, as a Bagusi, is always elusive because we are extremely independent, self-opinionated, high achievers, sometimes individuals who believe we are too good for everybody else, and therefore we never seek counsel. But at some times, when we have slept on the left side of the bed, we become together, we form alliances, we work together as a team, and we perform and deliver wonderfully. I appreciate what you're doing here today. Mr. Migos, for me, is a young man who needs to be supported, who should learn on the job, if need be. And so far, I have been saying you are trying your level best. And you have done so far, you've done so good, as far as I'm concerned, because you are working with what you have. We understand that. And all you who are here work in the government and civil service, I want to tell you this. I do not say the things I say where I criticize the government because I want a self-serving engagement, like I've heard some people say. The truth is our country is not well.
Pains, you saw the events that happened yesterday in Gusii Stadium. It's very unfortunate that it had to go that direction. But again, on the flip side, we must ask ourselves, on the flip side, what exactly are people protesting over? Why are people agitated in our villages? Why? It is because from the brotherhood that we've supported over the years, and this I must say, we have somehow not benefited much from the support we've given our neighbors. That is the problem. And this will stick. The other day there was change of leadership in the National Assembly, in the Senate. Not a single, and when we relinquished, the Kenya Kwanza relinquished some leadership to the Azimio part out of this broad-based arrangement. Not a single Kisii was given the chairmanship from ODM. Not a single one in a Senate. In a Senate. Now, regional. Those are the questions that we need to ask, and I'm sure the media is here. Pick it. It's Osoro who has spoken. Because we must say it. And that is why, as a community, we must ask ourselves these questions, so that we are not taken for a ride by any political leader. We respect the Right Honorable Raila Odinga, we respect His Excellency the President, and even going forward, as we appreciate what we have, because we appreciate a lot of what we have. Much of the things we have in this government right now, many of the things we have in this government, are because of the efforts some of us put in the last one. What about the efforts that were given by the other brothers from the Azimio coalition? Hizi zetu ni sawa. Waziri yuko, na zingine ziko. Na hata PS, by God's grace, zitakuja. Lakini, what about the effort by in the broad-based arrangement by our brothers from Azimio. Ama mimi naongea mbaya? Si ni kweli? So I think going forward, we have to as we appreciate this sector, we consider the arrangement on the other, on the future engagements. And finally,
management, your political direction, your political support. And I said, we have 2.5 years. There is issues that we need to deal with for the community. Let us avoid issues, political, because even if we discuss here, we will not give a political direction in this forum. Please, ladies and gentlemen, I know as politicians, you need to say something political, but let it be geared towards the development. Under the theme of strengthening regional synergy for development, the talks were anchored on the realization that development progress can only be achieved through deliberate and collaborative engagements based on professional expertise and ideas from the region's leadership. The ultimate objective of the consultations is to develop the region's framework for development agenda for the period 2025 to 2032. The leaders noted that despite the valuable endowments, the Gusii Kuria region continues to face significant challenges that hinder our progress. These include infrastructure gaps, youth unemployment, inadequate education and skills development programs, insufficient healthcare access, and lack of substantive economic inclusion and investment opportunities. The meeting noted the need for continuous meaningful dialogue for enhancing government development initiatives in our region, for sustained social economic progress.
That members from the executive, that is professionals, the directors, the CEOs, members from the judiciary, of course represented by the Judicial Service Commission member, Omwanza Ombati, and the members of the legislative arm of government, both in the county assemblies and the National Assembly and the Senate, that we sit down and come up with a common factor that puts us together, that despite the differences that we have in terms of everything that we think, because it will actually be a miracle for us to think through the same line, we need to agree that we serve the same people. Currently, we are faced with a threat in our boundaries, geographical jurisdiction, as I've said, between the Gusii and Transmara. The leadership of this forum has discussed intensively on ways we can be able to curb that.